Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know what the intention is, right? They want you to forget. They're hoping, like I always say, you have a goldfish memory, that the news cycle is going to move on, they're going to dangle a shiny object in front of your eyes, and you're simply going to get distracted. Like an excited little puppy, you're going to chase the shiny toy and forget everything. Now that's the concept that we've outlined quite clearly over the last couple of days. The Democrats want to change the subject. Ooh, Joe Biden drops out, Kamala Harris is back, Kamala is now the savior of democracy, 24/7 reality TV show, fake news, nonsense, garbage, all in a clear effort to distract from what? Obviously from the attempt on Donald Trump's life. They don't want people talking about it, they want everyone talking about Kamala Harris, and not how badass that historical moment was with Donald Trump almost losing his freaking life, getting shot in the ear. They don't want us to be talking about the resolve, the courage, the fact that it's now obvious that Donald Trump puts country above self, above safety. It's obvious. But unfortunately for the lamestream Democratic media, we're already 10 steps ahead of them. We've seen their tactics, we know it all. We won't let them memory hole the story. We simply won't let them memory hole the Trump shooting. Let's continue to apply the pressure where it's absolutely necessary on this fake news wound that the body politic is currently experiencing. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so let's first start off with the bombshell. We're now getting even more insight into what exactly happened on that day. Let's just start off right away with this ABC News exclusive. Here's ABC News speaking to SWAT officers from Pennsylvania, really just saying the unbelievable.
We were supposed to get a face-to-face briefing with the Secret Service snipers whenever they arrived, and that never happened. So I think that was probably a pivotal point where I started thinking things were wrong, because that never happened, and we had no communication with the Secret Service.
You had no communication with the Secret Service at all on that Saturday?
Not until after the shooting.
And by then?
It was too late.
And I continue to use the same word on purpose. Truly unbelievable. As in, I can't believe how this could have happened. And of course, where does that lead me? Well, it leads me to actually believing another thing entirely. That somehow, in some way, this thing was set up. How in the frick is that even possible? You know, as if it wasn't bad enough that they left the roof unmanned. And we keep getting more insight into that. Benny Johnson recently visited the scene of the crime.
On the building where the assassin was able to shoot directly at President Trump from this exact position. You can see right there in the field, that's where President Trump is. I'm just on iPhone magnification. This is how close the president was to the assassin. This is 100 yards, one football field. Right here.
I mean, look at that vantage point. Look at that direct access. It's totally unbelievable. As if that wasn't bad enough. Well, now we're learning that the officers, part of the local task force, ahead of the Pennsylvania rally, didn't even have direct communication access with the Secret Service. How is that even possible? Do they even care? Does Alexandro Mayorkas care? Did Kim Cheadle care? Apparently not. Apparently, it seems as if there was almost a purposeful neglect relating to the security apparatus at Trump rallies. What have we learned so far? I mean, just think about the context so far. The former president of the United States and current presidential nominee for the Republican Party is traveling across the nation campaigning for the presidency. He is obviously entitled to a security detail because he's a former president, and then above that, he's been requesting increased security due to the heightened divisiveness, extreme rhetoric, and calls to violence specifically targeted towards his direction. This stuff is evident, it's documented, it's simply factual and undeniable that Donald Trump is the most at-risk politician publicly. I know leftoids will struggle with that claim because they struggle with this thing called the truth, but for Pete's sakes, Trump was in Nashville 2 days ago, and this really happened. A woman took a photo of her pistol on her lap with a caption that essentially states that she's coming for Trump and she, quote, won't miss. I'm not going to show you guys that for obvious reasons, but I mean, constant calls to violence. Lefties can pretend as if it's not happening, but we saw this one coming from a mile away. Many people have been warning against possible assassination attempts targeting the former president.
This is the first time in my lifetime that I would say I am deathly afraid for Donald Trump. I would not put assassination behind these people.
And they have been accelerating steps, protests, impeachment, indictment. Like, how many more arrows do you have in your quiver? And what's the next one? And of course, it's assassination.
There was obviously a heightened security risk. The former president's team was asking for security, and what did they get? An unmanned roof? A Pac-Man security perimeter? Which Kim Cheadle now herself admitted that rooftop was not part of the security perimeter at all. Trump then, of course, gets a bunch of unqualified people on the job protecting him on the day of, people who aren't even tall enough to protect his body, with the classic Secret Service human shield strategy. And now on top of it, we're learning that Secret Service didn't even bother communicating with local law enforcement ahead of this rally. How's that possible? No wonder the roof was unmanned. No wonder we see so many clips of totally disorganized police officers running around on the complete other side of the rally, trapped behind a fence that need to be rammed down by a freaking pickup truck. No wonder they never got a briefing. They never got instructions. And the craziest part is that the US Secret Service Department, just a couple weeks ago, essentially tried throwing local police departments under the bus for their obvious failures. I don't know, I'm starting to question everything. Everything the US Secret Service has said has been total bullshit. Let's be totally real here. I'm not going to mince my words. I really don't like to swear on this channel, but sometimes it's absolutely necessary. It's total BS. How are we supposed to accept any of this? It's either neglect, the likes of which has never been seen before, or obviously this whole thing was manufactured. It was done on purpose. You don't leave these kinds of openings, these kinds of obvious security risks, unless it's all intentional. So many questions unanswered, and the more time goes on, the more we're subjected to. More questions continue to pop up. How in the frick did this happen? And what makes it all even more suspicious is the now attempt to memory hole this whole thing. The FBI, the DOJ, are refusing to comply with congressional oversight. They'll only show up under threat of a subpoena. And when I say show up, they'll show up and refuse to answer any questions. And so obviously they don't want you asking any questions. They want this thing swept under the rug, forgotten. And of course the media and the social media are aiding and abetting in that process. I wonder why. I mean, for Pete's sakes, today's fake news, media manipulation revelation, further adds to that point. We're now learning that Google is suppressing search results relating to any keyword search of the words assassination attempt and Trump in combination. And I'm not saying this based on other screenshots that people are posting around. I'm sure you guys saw the whole frenzy on Twitter from last night. I think it was initially reported by libs of TikTok. I'm not sending their photos. No, from my personal experience, these are my searches. Assassination attempt of. The first four results were Ronald Reagan, John Paul II, Gerald Ford, and Theodore Roosevelt. Assassination attempt on True. T-R-U. I'm about to spell Trump, aren't I? Nope. Assassination attempt on Truman, apparently. How many presidents had an assassination attempt? Literally, digitally, algorithmically memory holing the assassination attempt on President Donald Trump's life. They obviously don't want you to be asking these questions. They don't want you to know what's going on. They don't even want people to know that it happened. They're trying to scrub it from the search results. Absolutely insane, considering it's literally the most significant event of the past, multiple decades probably, maybe even the last century. Yeah, that event isn't showing up in the search results. Less than a month after it happened. Do not let them memory hole it. They want to pretend like it never happened. That's how deranged and politically motivated these people are. And I'll just repeat what I said earlier, the whole point of the video. Don't let them do it. They simply can't get away with it. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.